going on, everyone? Hope you're having a great day wherever you are. So today is going to be buttoning up the rest of the interior of the truck. There's a lot of just minor things that need to be detailed and cleaned and stitched up, but I got some new tools to help me out, and I think it's going to make life a whole lot easier. So on the truck, it just needs an all-around deep cleaning. Now, just all that dirt and debris from last week's video of putting in these patch panels, there's a bunch of leftover grinding dust and welding wire, a little bit of rust here that I can paint over, but I'm not going to do that today because it's really hard to paint in 32-degree weather. Today I thought it'd be really good to get started on this bench seat. Now there's a pretty bad rip here, but luckily it's just where the seams are mostly. So I have a sewing kit and I'm going to attempt to sew this back together. Little rips on the side here. And then there's just a couple stains here and there, some gunk in the cup holder. But it's going to make my life a whole lot easier because now I have these detail brushes. I won't have to scrub it by hand like I did with the Suburban project. So that's one project. Another one is, again, cleaning this, but also fixing this rip in the carpet. Any cracks in these panels will have to be fixed. This shifter here has a little bit of worn off paint. I might repaint that. But that's what's going to be happening today. So before I clean this all up, I have to get the old carpet padding off. I think I've removed enough of this carpet padding. Now I'm going to be able to clean it. So I have this drill brush, and I'm just going to use a spray bottle. I could take this thing to the car wash and spray it down, but it's below freezing, and I don't want to do that. So. Alright, so it's the next morning, and this turned out fantastic. Look at this blue carpet. Looks absolutely brand new again, besides the rip. I'll have to deal with that later tonight. So, still have this bench seat to do. Again, I'll do this later, but while I have sunshine and a little bit of good weather, I just have to get that vacuumed and painted. There's no way around it. I can't wait till March for it to get all warm again. So, I have just a little bit of white paint left over from the toolbox that I restored, and that should be enough to paint over that rust and get in that groove. Alright, so now the primer's all set. I'm going to just finish this up with a brush. I have a little bit left. Time to get this cover back on. I got a light bead of silicone all the way around. everything's turned out pretty great on the cab of the truck. I'm fairly happy with it. And again, no one's ever going to see this stuff, guys. It's a little overkill to be cleaning the floor when you're just going to put a piece of carpet over it. But next, I want to work, since it's getting dark out and I've lost all my light for today, I want to work on the carpet here. Now, the best solution to this rip, guys, is just to replace it. Now, that's not a possibility because I can't find one at any of the junkyards here. Some of the junkyards are closed, or they just offer or cost way too much online, let's say, and I'm stuck with it. So I thought around for a little bit. Do I just JB weld it? Do I put a patch underneath there? Do I leave it and just cover it with a floor mat anyways? My goal is to make it look like it just rolled off the assembly line in '93. So I want to try and fix it the best I can. It's not going to be perfect. That's just the reality. I have to accept it. But what I found at my local store, you can find just single floor mats for this was $3, this tiny little square. It's got these ribs on the front. The factory floor mat here, you can see all these ribs. It almost matches to the back side of this floor mat. You can see it a little bit. So here's what I'm thinking. If I take this, it's long enough, I can just slide this under here and then cut out all the loose stuff on this floor mat that's going to be like this right here. That can be cut, and somehow tape this in, glue it in, whatever I have to do. It's not going to be a perfect solution, guys. I get that, but it's better than nothing. And again, it's going to keep water from getting down in here and causing a big pile of rust again. So it took a little while, but I think it turned out real well. This has to dry for a day or so, but even though it's got to dry, I think I can still get this sewing done. And using that drill brush beat up this stitching a little bit, but that's okay. It all had to be cut away anyways. Alright, here it is. Ended up putting a little bit of liquid stitch on these threads, otherwise it would just wear right off over time. Doesn't look pretty, but it solves the problem. I left that trim panel off in the corner because next week's video is going to be working on the dash here. But the floor turned out great. Even the rip and the floor mat turned out okay. I'm pretty happy with it. Alright guys, that's all I have for you this week. Next week's video is going to be more interior work. And I know this is kind of dragging on, but there's just more things piled up on the to-do list that have to be done. The reason I left this quarter panel out is because the dash in the very corner of the passenger side of the truck is rattling. Now there's a bracket that is supposed to hold that in place, but it snapped right in half. And so this is going to be my fix. This is just an angle bracket. It cost me 50 cents down at the hardware store. And I also bought a replacement window crank for the driver's side. I tried to fix it with JB Weld, but the crack just split again. So that was 12 bucks. Also, this door panel here is going to be cleaned up, and there's a little crack here, and that's going to have to be gone over with some JB Weld. That's all going to be in next week's video. I hope you guys stay tuned for that. Thanks so much for watching Waddock Productions, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.